I'm so proud to be here, and I'm so proud to share the stage with Senator Gillibrand. She is such an amazing inspiration and role model, and yet has remained so accessible and so sincere. I really think that's a gift, and I thank you for sharing it with us tonight. Really, really do. Thank you. Let me thank the other honorees too, Dean Larry Kramer and Scott Burrell. You guys are phenomenal. You raise the bar for all of us in terms of our commitment in this space, and it's, again, a great privilege to share this evening with you. Now, I have about, hold on just a second, I have about 5 minutes to speak, and I have at least 6 minutes of thank yous to make. So, I'm going to hurry through it a little bit. I'm going to ask you to bear with me. Let's save the applause until the very end of the whole thing, and then we'll just bring the house down. How about that? So let me start with the Equal Justice Works staff. You know, I'm very honored to be up here and to be recognized tonight, but the true heroes are the folks who are out there every single day, improving the lives of people who are underrepresented. These are people who've grasped that nugget that is at the heart of our democracy. The notion that the rule of law has to really mean something, and that it can only have meaning, it can only have viability if it is accessible to everyone in the society as a matter of right, not as a matter of privilege. And so I commend their service. Let me particularly call out David Stern, whom you've met, Aaron Pickering, Juliette Klein, the entire Equal Justice Works board. Thank you guys so much. Also, I'd like to thank a group of unbelievably talented lawyers that made up the co-chair group, the co-chair committee for this evening. These are the folks that have worked so very hard to raise the funds that will enable Equal Justice to continue its mission in future years. Mark Chandler from Cisco Systems, who you've already met, Russ Hansen from Gibson, Dunn & Crutcher, Mike Holston, who couldn't be with us tonight, but is of course the General Counsel of Hewlett-Packard, Joe Catan, also from the Gibson firm, George Newcomb from Simpson Thacher, Chris Ottenweller from the Orrick firm, and Matt Powers from Weil Gotshal. Let me also thank everyone who is here, everyone who has made a commitment of time, resources, or energy to make this evening possible. You are all so very welcome, and you should know that your contributions are going to support an extraordinary organization. Now, of course, it's true, as Dean Kramer said, I too am here only in a representative capacity. To the extent that I've had any influence on public interest law, it is only through the diligence of the attorneys that make up the Intel legal team. We have a table full of them here, and I'd like to thank them in particular, thank them for coming out from California and for all of their great work. In particular, I want to call out Paul Shaleen, who you saw in the video, and Suzanne Miller. I could not have left the department in any better hands, and I know that they will continue what is now, I think, a tradition within Intel Legal, and that is a tradition of public service. Let me also make a shout out to my new friends at Apple. Some of you may have heard, I've changed jobs just recently. Apple is in the process of developing a pro bono program with the help of a very talented and committed lawyer, Jeff Hyman, who is known to many of you here. And to the Apple guys, I'm so proud to be a part of that organization, and I'm looking forward to the things that we can accomplish together. Just one more shout out, and this is a very, very important one to me. I'm delighted to have my wife Cynthia and my oldest daughter Alexandra here tonight. These guys keep me sane. They keep reminding me every day just how lucky I am. And with those reminders, with the recognition of such good fortune, comes the responsibility to give back. Now, I'm almost finished, but I can't not take the opportunity to address you guys on one thing that is of particular interest to me, a passion of mine. I want to make a request because I just have the opportunity to do it, so I'm going to. As I reflected on this evening and thought about what we were really celebrating tonight, I think it is that we're celebrating our ability as lawyers to create opportunities for people. For instance, the opportunity to be treated fairly, the opportunity to be heard, to petition one's government, the opportunity to live a life with dignity. And as you're all aware, access to those kinds of opportunities knows no racial, gender, or religious limitation. The kinds of people who need help in our society are as varied and diverse as the society itself. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the legal profession. Despite our very best intentions and a real focus on this issue for the past 10 years, the law profession remains one of the least diverse of all that are tracked, and that's particularly true when you get to the ranks of senior partner and of general counsel. Now, unfortunately, there's not a switch that we can flip to affect a change here. This is a complex and a systemic problem with roots in the academic pipeline that feeds our law schools and produces our law graduates. The lack of mentors and great role models for young diversity attorneys who go into practice at some of our leading firms and corporations. And also the potential for isolation that comes when you break through into the upper echelons of the profession as a minority practitioner. So all of these things are problems, and there is a lot of good work going on in this space. But I did want to leave you with one particular request as we celebrate tonight. And that is, as we look outward at our communities, as we look for places where bright, publicly minded lawyers can make a difference, let's also spend a little bit of time in introspection and ask ourselves whether we are doing all that we can within our own organizations to make sure that we create an environment which is conducive and supportive of young minority lawyers. I think that the talent and the capability to change society that exists in this room is almost unparalleled. And I think that we also have an opportunity. And it's an opportunity to share that potential with some future audience that will sit in this room and support and celebrate the mission of Equal Justice Works. But it will be an audience that is, or that has transcended the divisions of race, gender, wealth, and religion. I know that's a big challenge, but it's one that I think this group is capable of meeting. Thank you very much for this honor, and thank you very much for your support of public interest law.